Top 10 most violent video games. Video games have had a reputation to be more violent genre of the subculture, but usually there's a limit. But some games seem to go all out in being violent. Here's my top 10 list. Sit back, enjoy. In the number 10, we've got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, an anthology of the Mortal Kombat series of fighting games. Whilst it's not such a compilation as such, it does take elements from the previous games in the series. It's an update of Mortal Kombat 3 following the game Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Every character that's ever appeared in a Mortal Kombat game prior to this appears in the game. Rain and Noob Salbot are playable for the first time with their very own moves, combos and finishing moves. Along with the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 roster, Mortal Kombat Trilogy adds Baraka, Johnny Cage, Raiden and classic versions of Raiden, Kano, Jax and Kung Lao. At number 9, we've got Postal II, where players take on the role of Postal Dude, a tall, thin man with a goatee, sunglasses, long black trench coat, and an alien t-shirt. Every day his wife demands him to complete a number of errands, in which he must put up with being flipped the bird, mugged, attacked by protesters, put upon by an obnoxious convenience store owner, and his patrons who cut before him in the money line, plus a marching band, a murderous toy mascot named Crotchy, the police and SWAT, the ATF, the National Guard, the religious cult, savage bushers, psycho Taliban terrorists, and Gary Coleman. After carrying out these tasks, which almost always get the Postal Dude wound up in jail or killed, Paradise erupts into complete carnage, allegedly due to his actions over the week. As he walks home, he witnesses civilians and law enforcement battle it out, while cats fall from the sky. He arrives home safely, however it turns out he forgot one last item to get for his wife, and therefore shoots himself in the head to stop listening to her nagging. In the number 8, we've got Darksiders. Now, this is an action-adventure video game developed by Vigil Games and published by THQ. The game takes its inspiration from the Apocalypse and Battle of Armageddon described in the Bible's Book of Revelation, with the player taking the role of War, one of the four horsemen of the Apocalypse. Darksiders was released on January 5th, 2010 in North America, and most other countries on the same day. On January 7th, Darksiders released in Australia and New Zealand, and it has been described as deceived by the forces of evil into prematurely bringing about the end of the world. War, the first horseman of the apocalypse, stands accused of breaking the sacred law by inciting a war between heaven and hell. In the slaughter that ensues, the demonic forces defeated the heavenly hosts and laid claim to the earth. In at number 7, we've got Fallout 3. Now, Fallout 3 is a post-apocalyptic computer and console role-playing game that's been developed and published by Bethesda Software. The game takes place in the year 2277 on the east coast of what used to be the USA, mostly in Washington, Maryland and Virginia. The gameplay features include real-life combat and first or third-person perspective, in contrast to the previous games, which were all turn-based and isometric. In the number 6, we've got The Punisher. Now, with the commitment bought, the need not only for an excessive number of armaments, you get more than 20 weapons, but for the over-top murders also seen in the pages of the comic book. The Punisher's great innovation is in its interrogation and special skills. These moments often make use of the environment to offer creative ways for the Punisher to force information from criminals and to simply kill them off with aplomb. With the Punisher, you get to shoot limbs and heads and impale people, burn them alive, shoot them, drill them in the face. I could continue. Very violent game. Happy Wheels' tagline is, choose your inadequately prepared racer and ignore severe consequences in your desperate search for victory. The actual mechanics of gameplay vary based on character choice and level design. The goal of the game also differs depending on the level. In most levels, the goal is to reach the finish line or collect tokens. Many levels feature alternate or non-existent goals for the player. Reviewers have noted that Happy Wheels exhibits graphic violence in its gameplay. For instance, players can be decapitated, shot, or crushed by different obstacles. Loss of limbs and blood loss are also very graphic. Players also have the choice to upload replays of their level attempts, which can then be viewed. Happy Wheels has also got an editor, which allows players to create custom levels of their own. It's got loads of tools and objects for level building, and you can upload their maps to the public server, where they are then accessible. In at number 4, we've got The Warriors. Based on the epic movie, this game is the perfect mixture of murder, betrayal, gang life, and total kick-ass. The profanity in this game has absolutely no bounds. Bloody violence, Manhunter-style stealth attacks, blood everywhere, beating people up, stabbing them on the ground, long-lasting gang brawls, and quite long cutting their throat scenes. This is a great game, but also a very, very violent game. In number 3, we've got Grand Theft Auto 5. It's set in the present day in the city of Los Santos and its surrounding areas, and tells the story of three protagonists, Michael DeSanta, Franklin Clinton, and Trevor Phillips. It takes place about 5 years after the events of Grand Theft Auto 4, and 4 years after the events of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. Grand Theft Auto 5 was released to universal acclaim, holding scores of 96 and above on Metacritic and game rankings, as well as receiving perfect scores from over 30 reviewers. The game sold 11.21 million copies and grossed $800 million on its first day alone, setting many records, and eventually making $1 billion within 3 days of the game's release. In the number 2, we've got God of War, an action-adventure video game series loosely based on Greek mythology, and originally created by David Jaffe at Sony's Santa Monica studio. Debuting in 2005, the series has become a flagship title for PlayStation, consisting of 7 games across multiple platforms. The series' story centers around its playable character Kratos, a Spartan warrior tricked into killing his wife and daughter by his former master, the god of war Ares. Kratos kills Ares at the behest of the goddess Athena and takes his place as the new god of war, but is still haunted by the nightmares of the past. Revealed to be a demigod and the son of Zeus, the king of the Olympian gods who betrays Kratos, the Spartan then seeks revenge against the gods for their machinations. What follows is a series of attempts to free himself from the influence of the gods and the Titans and thus exact revenge. And in at number 1, we've got Manhunt, a stealth-based survival horror video game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar. It was originally released for the PS2 in 2003 and Microsoft on the Xbox 2004. The game was also released through the PlayStation Network for the PlayStation 3 and 4 in 2013 and this year respectively. It's a stealth-based psychological horror game played from a third-person perspective. It consists of 20 levels called scenes, as well as 4 unlockable bonus scenes. Players survive the scenes by dispatching enemy gang members, occasionally with firearms, but primarily by stealthily executing them. At the end of each scene, players are graded based on their performance and awarded 1 to 5 stars. Unlockable content becomes available only when the player achieves 3 or more stars on a certain number of levels. On normal difficulty, called Fetish, players can earn only 4 stars. 1 is awarded for completing the scene under a certain amount of time, and 1 to 3 stars are awarded based on the brutality of the executions carried out during the scene. On the hard difficulty level, called Hardcore, players are graded out of 5 stars, 1 for speed, 1 to 3 for brutality, and 1 for simply completing the scene. To gain the maximum number of stars, a set number of brutal executions must be carried out over the course of each scene. Face-to-face fighting does not award stars. Well, I hope you enjoyed my trawl through the 10 most violent video games of all time. Please leave some comments for me. Let me know if I missed anything off the list. Let me know if you agree with the list or disagree with it in any way. Give me some ideas of anything you'd like to see in a top 10 list of mine coming up. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe because there is new content coming every single day. Take care now. Bye.